Hey guys, welcome back. And in this video, I want to show you a great way to take a free resource and start your own opening repertoire if you don't have any yet. So if you already have an opening repertoire, this might not be perfect for you. So you can just go over this video and go to the next one. But if you don't have an opening repertoire or you maybe want to start a new one, this is perfect because you can use free resources to start a small repertoire, and then we will talk about how we can improve on that repertoire later on. So let's start. Here I am on a website that I really recommend. It's chessmadra.com. It's completely free and it helps you to build an opening repertoire based on lines that score well at your level. This is exactly what I searched for. So you can click on Get Started, and now you can insert your rating. That is amazing because this resource then gives you the probability of which line you will face, right? So every move you look at, there will be a probability how many or in how many games you will face this opening. And this gives you the feeling of, oh, is that relevant? Is that not relevant? If somewhere is written in 1 out of 500 games, you will get that move. Well, don't care about that move, right? We just want to know the most important thing. So let's click it to the basic, maybe 0 to 1100. And then you can click on Lichess, Chess.com, FIDE, or this is the American chess rating, I believe. Now let's go set the rating and continue. And now, as I said, we want to do this if we don't have any repertoire yet. If you have already a repertoire, you should put that into Lichess, and then I'll explain you over there how you can work from that point on. Now here we'll get that main page. Let me just maybe make it a little bit bigger so it's very easily visible for you. Okay, now we have it big enough, so in your video it's also better. And here you can see just the master's percentage of each move that you might play, right? The evaluation and the results of peer. That means that it's from the games played at your level. Now here it's really about your own feeling. What do you prefer playing? Do you prefer playing e4 or d4? Again, e4 is usually a bit more open positions, which I really recommend for beginners. So I would say that we go for e4. If you absolutely want to play d4, you can do the same with d4 as well, but e4 would be my recommendation. Now here, it's actually fun that, for example, the Scandinavian defense is more played on your level than the Sicilian defense. Okay, Scandinavian defense, if you go higher up, if you go, to master level, is very, very, very rarely played. But it's actually important to know that here it's the second most played move. And you also see the French defense is quite low. And I think the Caro-Kann will be also very low. So this is already a good indicator of which moves you might face. But let's go with the most important one, the king's pawn game. Okay, e4, e5. We want to talk about this. Now, 94% play knight f3. I think there is no reason not to play knight f3. So let's click on this one. And once we attack the pawn, it's very normal that they play knight c6. Now, you can always come back and do also knight f6, and you can go back and do other moves. But if you start out, just do the main lines. Okay, here now we have this choice between bishop b5 and bishop c4 mainly, right? Bishop c4 Italian game, bishop b5 known as Spanish or Ruy Lopez. This is a matter of taste. I like the Italian game usually because it's very easy to play, especially on beginner's level. So I would choose here the Italian game, but also the Spanish is completely fine. So let's go with the Italian game. Now you see again, it always gets less likely, right? This doesn't mean when your game gets here, how many games will have knight f6 or bishop c5. It means that from all the games you will play, by opening with one e4, 1 out of 8 will get into the position with knight f6, 1 out of 14 will get into the position with bishop c5. Okay, so let's go knight to f6. And again, the most played and most logical move is protecting this pawn with d3. Okay, black wants to develop the bishop to c5. Again, you can always show more moves, but you see that these are so unlikely that I would just ignore them. And then when you have a game, we will talk about how you can implement it and then add it to your opening repertoire. So it's bishop c5. Again, there is no reason not to play maybe castle, like it's the most played move. Again, when there is no real reason to not castle, well, we should castle. And now it's very interesting that it comes up with you've reached your target depth. So they think that if you are rated from 0 to 1100, you should only know until here, right? And then there are some plans. The queenside knight typically develops to d2. Bishop of c4 goes to b3, right? Then you have this dark square bishop e3. I would add that it could go to g5 as well. And common pawn moves are a4, c3, and h3. At least you get a little bit of a hint here where your pieces can go. And I think that is amazing, you know, an amazing point to start. Obviously, it's not the same as if you have an opening course or somebody teaching you, but it really can bring you to a point where you can comfortably play something and keep it easy. Now, what I would do is you can save this line to the repertoire, which is nice. But what I even like more is you can click Analyze on Leeches, and it opens you this exact position, right, on Leeches, and you could create, again, your own study about this opening in your white repertoire. Right? So you can just take it immediately from the opening builder to Leeches over, or you can go back to the opening builder and you can say, okay, I'm done, save this to my repertoire, and then your repertoire is 24% complete. And now the recommended thing is that you know everything of 1 in 25 games, so you're 24% there. And then you can click on go to the biggest gap in your white repertoire or practice the line. So it's really nice, a tool to immediately, you know, okay, now it goes, when you click that, it goes to bishop c5 instead of knight c6. We saw that last time, okay? Now we can, for example, just say we castle knight f6 and d3 transposes to your repertoire. Boom, we kept it easy. Save this move order to my repertoire. And we did it. And you can go always to the biggest gap in your white repertoire, and then you will have 100% at some point. And then you can either keep it here, or you can take the repertoire and put it on Leeches and then repeat it over there. And this is how, with a free resource, you can create a little opening repertoire that is not too deep, that is not focusing about things that you actually don't need to know. And this is very nice. Now, one other tool I like are actually Chessable free courses. Now, you might know, if you read my blogs, if you're following me on Twitter, I'm not a huge fan of Chessable courses, but the free courses can actually be pretty decent. So there you can actually get similar information. I don't want to go there and show you because I don't know how much I would be allowed to show, but you can go to Chessable. I will have some links of some free courses there, and you can study those courses and then just put the same moves that you learned from the courses into your Leeches study. Just that you have your own study, you have the moves there. You don't need to go all the time to Chessable. You can also not insert new things in Chessable, but you can do that on Leeches. So you can use either this chessmadra.com resource, or you can just go to take a free course and copycat everything into your Leeches study, and then you are ready to start on a small basic, but you have the most important things you need to know in your openings, and then you can go on and learn and play and improve your openings, as I will explain it in the upcoming videos. Okay, guys, I hope this is helpful. I hope this takes away a lot of, oh, how do I actually start? What do I do with openings? Like this, you don't have, excuses anymore to not start. You can have your very, very little analysis on Leeches. That's all you need to have. And yeah, let's see you in the next video.